Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Good News Gaming, the show that highlights all the good and fun stuff from the week in games, just like this absolutely impeccable comic timing in GTA Online. This week I'm obviously very excited about all of the Series X news to come out of Inside Xbox, hence my Phil Spencer shrine, I guess, in the background. But in the good news this week, the Fallout 76 community have come together for a really incredible gesture. Brent CJ Martin Fairchild is a really famous role player in Fallout 76. He acts as a doctor in the Wasteland, patching people up when they need it. And actually, before the game added NPCs in the Wastelanders update, Brent was basically role-playing as one, because he was providing help to people, along with tidbits of lore and even quests. But unfortunately, on May 2nd, he was hurt in a fire at his home, and he suffered from severe burns. So the Fallout community have started a GoFundMe to help raise money for his home repairs while he's in hospital. I'll obviously link it below, but best wishes to him, and he is hoping for a speedy recovery. Now, I love me some Animal Crossing, and I know a lot of you do too, but I think we can all agree that some of the game could be a bit more streamlined. So Nick Ha on YouTube has made a fake Nintendo Direct with all the quality of life improvements that I think we're all really hoping that Nintendo will add to the game. Like crafting multiples of one item, a quick sort for your pockets, a button to hurry through dialogue you've heard before, and my favorite, improvements to online play. Obviously this Direct is totally fake, and it's not really good news because it's not been confirmed by Nintendo that they're making any of these changes yet, but I thought it was something to highlight because it's so well made. It is packed full of jokes about Animal Crossing and little sight gags that you have to pause to read, so it's incredibly well made, and I really hope Nintendo have been watching. And while we're on the subject of Animal Crossing, I read a wild article on Polygon this week about Animal Crossing fans getting in trouble because of weed. Or should I say, weeds. Facebook seems to think that these fan groups are talking about openly selling the drug marijuana, when in reality it's just Animal Crossing players trading in-game weeds for crafting. There are also other unconfirmed reports that Facebook doesn't like it when people talk about trading Molly. Molly is an adorable duck villager in Animal Crossing who just happens to share their name with another drug. So in order to combat this and get on Facebook's good side, these fan groups are asking people to not use terms like weed and Molly and be more creative by using things like gardening tidying and wildflowers. Anyway, I just thought this was a really weird story this week, and the whole time I was writing this script for today, I had this line going around in my head, so here you go.
Chris, is that a weed?
No, this is a crayon.
I'm calling the police!
911, what's your emergency?
Okay, so here's a few cool things that I've seen on the web this week. Let's kick off with Richard Parry's incredible photography series. We all know the curves and the feel of our favorite controllers, but this series disassembles them in such a cool and interesting way. This image of a 360 controller, for example, is made up of 140 pictures. And after seeing this one on Reddit, I did a bit more digging and found not only his Instagram page, which is amazing, and I'll link it below, but an old Verge article about just how these pictures are made. And I think one of the really cool takeaways is that Richard learned how to do all of this himself by using YouTube. He also says that he hasn't tried to reassemble any of them, which, given how many pieces they're all in at the end, is probably wise. I bloody love a good video essay, so I really have to recommend this one by Jacob Geller. If you're a big fan of games like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and The Evil Within and their soundtracks, this deep dive into why horror games sound so beautiful is an absolute must-watch. It's a super thought-provoking video about a subject that I've never really given much thought to, and I really recommend setting aside half an hour and giving it a watch. This is kind of a random one, but I think it's a really cool and weird story. So, target game footage from a cancelled Prince of Persia game was found on YouTube recently, but the weird thing is, that footage has been up on YouTube for 8 years, and no one noticed. So, in case you're wondering if it's fake or not, well, Jonathan Cooper, who was game animator on titles like The Last of Us Part 2, Mass Effect, and Assassin's Creed 3, actually commented on Twitter that this footage is legitimate, and was what inspired the Assassin's Creed team when they were making Assassin's Creed 3. I'm recording this on Wednesday and the footage is still up on YouTube, so I imagine it's still up there. No one seems to be doing anything about it if you want to go take a look. It's super interesting, and as someone who absolutely loved The Sands of Time, I'm kind of sad that this one never got made. But I think the bigger question is, how are people just finding this now? You might remember a couple of weeks ago we had Greg Miller from Kind of Funny here to talk about his fundraising efforts for the American Cancer Society, and no, we weren't disobeying social distancing, we do live together. But great news is that Greg and the Kind of Funny team have made it to the finals of that championship tourney, and you can still head over to kindoffunny.com/Mizzou to donate for a great cause. Now we open the show this week with a clip from GTA Online, so let's close out with Red Dead. You know what? This also reminds me of a Vine.
You guys say Colorado.
Alright, that's it for this week's episode of Good News Gaming. As always, if you have any other good news stories, stick them in the comments below or come find me on Twitter. I'm at LucyJamesGames, or DM me for access to the GameSpot Discord. We have a lot of fun in there. Right now, talking about Mindhunter. So come in, join the conversation, DM me for an invite. I'll see you next time.